Hello. Good evening. No, almost good morning actually, it being 10 minutes to midnight. Someone can make a song out of that. I decided that after an evening walk and a little bit of food, I'm ready to play some more. I honestly thought I'd be kind of annoyed at this idea by now, but nope. So, we are 6 levels, almost 7 levels, over-leveled. Joy. But we're going to keep on going regardless, because reasons. On my screen, my other screen, not this screen, obviously, I have got, I'm looking at the wrong one, the 7th Umbral Era quest line, so I know what's coming up and I know what the rewards are and I know how far I am through things. This is the last level 11 quest. And we are about halfway through the initial part of the 2.0's 1 to 15 storyline. At 1 to 15, the storyline for the different city-states converges, and the game, in many ways, opens up. So there's a reasonable chunk of stuff to do. So we're going to crack on with that. Pray allow me to enlist your aid, brave adventurer. I would have you ascertain the whereabouts of a missive I sent to Lost Hope the other day. Captain Ffxiv is stationed there. Ever since he was transferred, we've exchanged letters, but never before has it taken this long to receive a reply. So I fear that the courier may have met with some misfortune en route. She must have made it to Central Thanalan, or the brass blades that patrol the roads between here and Scorpion Crossing would have seen something. But if she made it as far as Blackbush Station, she would have surely delivered the letter by now. Lost Hope is practically on its doorstep. I suggest you focus your search on the road to Blackbush Station in Central Thanalan. Excuse me. With luck, you will find her quickly. Let's run it. Oh, actually, can we rent a chocobo? I don't know whether you can actually rent them or whether it's just porters. No. Come on then, wind up Nanamo. Can I actually turn off while I'm running? That's the wrong menu. What to? There we go. That's what I wanted. I have run right past it. That fight there is actually down under the bridge. You can get down there. You can see there are some toads. There are also a lot of enemies in this area that I can kill for my hunting log. We shall come back and do that shortly. Same goes for this Cochineal. I think that's how you pronounce that. Don't often stumble over words. Cochineal. I've arrived in the middle of a fight. I'm not actually going to do any fates. Unless I really desperately need to. Hello, Cecily. Huh? A letter? Oh, I got Ffxiv missive right here. Won't be delivering it any time soon, though. Got to tend to my bird's injured leg first. Even the most minor of cuts can fester if ignored. Ffxiv sent you, right? If this is a pressing matter, why don't you take it the rest of the way? Lost Hope's just past Blackbush Station to the northeast. Look for the tents by the river. So we are going to go and head up to Lost Hope, and while we're there, the Quiveron Guards and the Cochineal Cactuar are, if I remember correctly, located on this kind of ledge here next to the Quiveron Manse, or Mons, or however you pronounce it. Ooh, also, technically we can kill the giant tortoises here. The ones in the other zone are actually lower level. They're, I think, level 15, which is why they show up in the other one. But these count as well. I need to kill 3 of them. Let's go to... There's another one over there. It's worth doing these now because the XP doesn't scale. Or at least it didn't used to scale, as far as I can remember. I'm saying that with authority. It's like, am I right now I think about it? See, I'm now getting 360% XP, and that is because I have got a vested XP bonus. That's not where I want to be going. It's the next bit along that I want to be going up. These things will still aggro me, but I'm just going to run. The Cactuar and the Quiveron Guards are all up in the same place, just up this slope here. You can see the Cactuar from here. There's loads of them. Let's kill a few of those. They're only level 11, so again. Not take long to kill at all. Sometimes you'll kill all the allotted enemies and you won't get the bonus. And the reason for that is that some of the logs actually require you to kill 2 different types of mobs. Shield Bash. Right, this is Quiveron. Notice it's the guards that you want, not the attendants. The guards are pugilists. Yeah, and the attendants are archers. You can quite easily aggro a lot of people up here if you're not careful. And there is a fate that spawns around here with a boss mob, or a notorious monster as they are sometimes call them. As I said, they're only level 11, so they're not exactly threatening. It's worth noting that vested XP only applies to enemies that you kill. It doesn't affect quest rewards, doesn't affect fate rewards. It is literally just for kills. Now obviously with high XP targets like those in dungeons, excuse me, it's a significant bonus. But it doesn't apply to finishing hunting logs or anything like that. Ffxiv, just passing through, will you be staying a while? Ffxiv sent you all this way because of a late letter. The boy's still far too earnest. Despite my demotion, he continues to call me captain. I suspect it's no idea what it means to be transferred to Lost Hope either. The brass blades don't give a kick in his arse about this settlement. I've no idea how to pronounce that. Quick. No one in Uldar does. All here have been forsaken, adventurer. The refugees, their protectors, and you will be too if you've been seen associating with us. Thanks for the letter. Now, for your own good, leave. And as often happens, this opens up extra quests in the area, which we won't be doing because we're already way ahead of where we need to be. Ffxiv is a request from an adventurer looking to do some good. That's us, that is. I thought I told you to get out of here. What, looking for a chance to do some good? I guess I can't force you to leave. Damn stumbled adventurers, the lot of you. Fine then. Listen well. Band of outlaws has taken up residence at... Oh. We've got to go back up there now. At the Quivering Months on the ridge to the south. Their leader has styled himself heir to the ill and Quiverland. Quiverant, even. The syndicate member who died in the calamity. The Baron and his cronies are not more than a pack of jackals. They prey on the people of Lost Hope, robbing them of what little they have. I myself cannot act without endangering the refugees as they know my face and will retaliate against Lost Hope. You, however, are not known to the bandits or their allies. If you wish to help us, then deal with the Baron. So, we're going back the way we just came. And you'll see we've got to defeat some of the guards, we've got to defeat some of the attendants, and we've also got to defeat Baron von Quiveren the Third, Esquire. He's clearly a trumped up little nobleman with delusions of grandeur. The music seems to have turned off. No, it's just quiet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we get to kill our guards on the way in, and the big purple swirly thing is where we'll actually fight and spawn the boss. We've got no AoE skills at this level, so we don't want to try and fight too many things at once. Ugh, paralysed. Paralysed is a status effect, sometimes blocks you from doing actions. You'll notice that the bars get greyed out. It also stops you moving at times as well, but it's periodic. It's not persistent. It's actually not. It doesn't seem to be on a timer either. It's just completely random. And oh, that's the lot. As I think I've said, whilst there is fall damage, so I'm going to jump off the cliff here, as long as you're not in combat, you won't actually die. If you are in combat, you will die, though, if you fall far enough, so you do have to watch out for that. Back to Ffxiv? Who knows? So is it done? Good. I hope that wretch died screaming. Uldar is more prosperous than ever, some say. That may be true for the Syndicate, but none of that wealth's trickled down to the small folk. It's all a mummer's farce. One day I refused to play my part, and so I was made to leave the stage. Aye, my time's past. The brass blades of the rose must look to others for guidance. Right, now we don't have a belt yet, so we're going to pick that up. Leofric would like you to deliver an item to Horizon. As you may have noticed, I'm in no shape to leave Lost Oak right now, so in my stead I'd like you to return to Horizon and give this dagger to Ffxiv. It's just an old ornamental dagger. It belongs with the brass blades of the rose. Oh, I should have given it to the boy before I came here. And this is why we set our free teleport destination to Horizon for a while. Ah, Demajen. I received word from Captain Leofric the other day. Thank you for delivering the letter for me. Yeah, the other day. This is what I was saying about dramatic time. I always just assumed that the act of teleportation is a little bit random in terms of how it actually works. Because the in-game lore for it is that it is basically deconstructing you and sends your component ether through the life stream that goes underneath the surface of the planet and then reconstructs you at the target location using the aetheroids as beacons. So I just naturally assume my explanation is that sometimes it can take you a little while to find a destination. Why do you have that dagger? Only a captain of the brass blades of the rose is permitted to possess it. Captain Leofric says I'm to have it. Oh, there must be some mistake. He couldn't possibly mean to tell me that... No, of course not. I'm not worthy to wield it. Nevertheless, I shall respect the captain's wishes and take the dagger into safekeeping until he comes to reclaim it. Let's put that on. Cool. What I was saying about the little bars down the side, this is your kind of durability meter. So it starts off at blue if everything's fresh. The green bar will slowly deteriorate, revealing the red wear and tear. So Ffxiv is very much of the opinion that his boss, the captain, is going to return at some point. He's very much in denial, the poor thing. Following footfalls. This will give us a new shield. But you'll notice it's a little bit different. There are different styles of shields in this game, 3 I think. One of them gives you more block and less block strength, so it blocks less damage but it blocks more often. This one, the big square rectangular shields, the tower shields, blocks much more but doesn't block as often. The brass blades of the rose have need of your assistance once more, Demajen. Thaumaturges from the ossuary are presently surveying the footfalls for ancient relics. As the area is rife with wild beasts, the Horizon garrison has been charged with their security. But Captain Baldwin sent only a handful of brass blades. Despite his assurances to the contrary, such a small unit cannot possibly be sufficient to protect our patrons. I would have you offer your assistance to my comrades. Pray travel to the footfalls and speak with Totaruna. So we get to head out this way. And out here we've got Bubbling Bernie of Fate with the crab. And we've got some watery bits, as well as a little settlement that takes you down to the ferry docks. A few ancient ruins in this area. There is actually a quest over here eventually. which you can go on that doesn't give you any directions or anything in your quest log. It's quite cool, and it fills you in with some of the story about this area. Right, Totaruna. A bleeding venturer come to help? I ain't nothing from Captain Baldwin about this. He said trusting men only. Anyway, we got this under control, and besides, this operation ain't got nothing to do with Ffxiv. Boy's got a stick up his arse the size of a saber tender. It's no wonder the captain told him to stay at Horizon. Nice big shield. Now, it used to be that this would be the quest that gave you your tanking gear in preparation for your first dungeon, which is coming up at level 15 in the quest series. But we've now got these brand new Sabatons, which are actually already better. These are actually on par with the loot that you get from that first dungeon. So it kind of eases you in. Right, so this is Nunazofa. He wants you to deliver a message to Crescent Cove. Hey, adventurer! Mind running a message to Crescent Cove for us? Captain Baldwin's planning some festivities for the thaumaturgists, see, and he wants them treated to the finest food and drink. Nothing but the best for our distinguished guests, eh? Head west and south of the village and tell Raffi that he's to deliver a bounty of fresh fish to Horizon for the feast. So, there's still a chunk of just general fetch questy style stuff or messenger quest. But, you know, let's switch those over now. Because Shield Bash actually does damage. But it is worth noting that unlike Low Blow, Shield Bash is on the global cooldown, so you can't chain it in with things. Which I think is kind of the point, because previously it was a DPS increase to stun, and it was messing a lot of tanks up. Alright, that's the Scaphites. Let's kill some of these crabs. Teeny tiny crabs. If you ever played Final Fantasy XI, you will be very familiar with these crabs. They are basically the same model. There we go. Another 10k XP. Jeez, they really do shoot you through the levels, don't you? Right, so this is Crescent Cove. Nice little place, actually. Nothing much here. And here's Raffi. Fish for Captain Baldwin? Of course, we'll do our best, madam. Unfortunately, we've had a poor catch in recent days on account of the rough seas. More boats should be returning soon, but I cannot promise that their catch will please. But don't worry, my lady. The captain will have his fish, I swear it. Marilda needs help preparing a meal for unscrupulous guests. Now, you'll have noticed that the Hall of the Novice did not give us a headpiece. So this will be our tanking helmet. Pardon me, madam. I know this is sudden, but I have no one else to turn to. Our village has long been a haven for unscrupulous characters. One such band has taken over our tavern.
They demand that we serve them buzzard thighs, thick shell legs, and scaffold slices, none of which we have in our larders. Could you procure these ingredients for me, adventurer? I've not the skill to harvest them from the creatures.
So we get to go back and kill some more of the things that we've just killed. TP kill. But it's fine. It's all XP. Alright, that's the thick shell legs. I need to kill some buzzards. Oop, you're not dead. No, you are. And kill some scaphites. You'll probably notice that Shield Bash does not have a cooldown. It's got a recast timer and a TP cost, but no cooldown, not like low blow. So it can be used like that, but it's very inefficient, so don't do that. There we go. Bits and pieces acquired. Come on, little Nanimo. Compulsory catering.
Have you the ingredients? If we fail to satisfy the bandits, they will take their displeasure out on us. Bless you, adventurer, bless you. We may yet pass this day without incident. Though I know not what terrors tomorrow may bring, these outlaws do whatever they please, and we have not the strength to stand up to them. The brass blades of Horizon and Vesper Bay see no profit in protecting a poor village like ours. Most of them pretend we don't even exist. Worst of all are those in league with the bandits.
Yes. Oop, that's level 20. That gives us convalescence and a new trait. Haven't talked about traits yet. Traits are acquired at certain levels that give certain enhancements to stats or abilities. Nothing's super exciting or major. Right, let's stick convalescence on. Convalescence is a cool ability. It increases our recovery via healing magic. Not that we can cast anything on ourselves, but it will be quite useful in dungeons. We can also go and get the level 20 class quest. But we will be heading back to Uldar reasonably soon. In about 2 quests' time, in fact. So Marilda may have stumbled upon a secret. Dum dum dum. Ooh, and there's a cutscene for this.
When the bandits were in their cups, I overheard them discussing their plans. It seems they've come to collect gemstones stolen from Copperbelt Mines. Nashasite, I think I heard one say. They're to meet with their co-conspirator soon, at the footfalls, even.
What did you say?
Illicit exchanges and shadowy dealings? The brass blades cannot abide such malfeasance.
Forgive my eavesdropping, Demajen. I came to Crescent Cove merely to thank you in person.
I never imagined I'd uncover a criminal conspiracy right outside Horizon's gates. We must act quickly if we are to apprehend these thieves. I will notify Captain Baldwin at once. No, wait, you mustn't. Oh, gods. You must stop him before it's too late. Captain Baldwin himself is working with the bandits.
Yeah, the brass blades are super duper corrupt. Hee. Run, tiny Nanimo, run. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Right, in the centre of here, yeah, there will be a little instance battle. Going to be synced down to level 18 for this. Because we really are levelling way ahead of where we need to be, but I've got no issue with that. The only issue will be that we will out-level gear.
Captain Baldwin, sir, I've discovered something shocking, something horrible. Someone has been stealing gemstones from Copperbell mines and... Wait, those gauntlets, those boots, why, you're one of Quiveran's men. Sir, this man is a thief and a scoundrel.
And? What of it? His coin's good, and that's what counts.
What? Captain Baldwin, are you working with these men? It cannot be.
Just noticed his little rosy cheeks for the first time. I told you to stay in Horizon, Ffxiv. It didn't have to be like this. They get their Nashicite, I'd get my gill, and none would be the wiser.
But, sir, what if your crimes are uncovered? What if Lord Lolorito finds out?
You goddamn fool. Don't you see? I am acting under the authority of Lord Lolorito himself.
No, that can't be true.
Why do you think the people joined the brass blades for Ffxiv? To serve and protect? We're not the bloody flames here. We do this for the coin. You there, adventurer. Do you remember me? Well, I remember you. I am Sir Baron von Quiveran Fourth Esquire. You killed my brother, and now I'm going to return the favour with my really cool little soul patch. Well, that settles it. It's clearly in everyone's best interest that both of you die. Right. As always, take out the Black Mage first. Take out any other adds, because they tend to be very squishy. And then any NPCs that you've got with you can all focus on the main boss. Baldwin Foryarms. Heh, it's stronger than I thought. Damn you both, you're ruining everything. Where's Spear Demajen? Oh no, that's... Where's Spear Demajen? Yeah, I fought Spear Wilders before. What that buff? Too late. Duty complete. That's enough, Baldwin. Your partner is dead, and your plans are undone. You've no reason left to fight. Stay out of this, Leofric. I don't take orders from you. I may have spared your life before, but if you interfere, I will not show you mercy. And what mercy will he show you, I wonder? You have done so much in another man's name. What are you blathering on about? Every fisherman in Crescent Cove knew about your meeting, you arrogant fool. Quiveran's men couldn't keep their mouths shut. Imagine Lord Lolorito's surprise when he learned that a rank-and-file brass blade was using his name to advance a personal agenda. He knows? Seven else, but I'm a captain, he wouldn't. I was once a captain too, remember? We both know what happened to me. Well thought, boy. You've done the brass blades of the Rose proud. Captain Leofric, Captain Baldwin here. He said that Lord Lolorito... Lord Lolorito wouldn't waste his time in a small-scale smuggling operation. This is all Baldwin's doing. What else did he say? That all our brethren are no better, and that each and every one cares for naught but coin? Ha! Mere excuses to justify his schemes. Aye, we've no shortage of greedy sods. Some would probably sell their own mothers into slavery if the price was right. But there are men like you, Ffxiv, men good and true, whom the small folk respect. Which is why I gave you the dagger. The brass blades of the Rose need to lead with honour, and you're the most honourable man I know. Captain? Facial expression changes just a little bit too quick there. Thank you for all your help, Demajen. The captain and I will escort Captain Baldwin back to Horizon. Pray visit me in town when next you return. Oh, man, that face paint. And there we go. Because I'm really lazy. Bloop. But mostly because it's free. Welcome back, Demajen. So much has happened. Captain Baldwin has been arrested and stripped of rank, which means the brass blades of the Rose no longer have a captain. Until a new one is designated, I've been ordered to serve as acting captain of the Horizon Garrison. Though doubtless it's only a temporary arrangement, I'll do my utmost to represent my brethren and protect the people of Horizon. Thank you, Demajen, for your service to the Sultanate. You are a true hero. Yes. Yes, we are. Storyteller! Can't remember what that does. 30 unique quests. Secrets and lies. Ffxiv would entrust you with a matter of grave import. I salute you, honoured friend. As acting captain, I should be much obliged if you grant me a personal request. In our efforts to ascertain the full extent of the former captain's corruption, we've been poring over his personal correspondence. Our search unearthed a sealed letter addressed to a man named Owen. But he is one of the Sultan's sworn elite. I could think of no reason why he should have any dealings with Baldwin. We now know that the former captain was consulting with a coalition of criminals. Could it be that Owen was too? This letter may well serve as evidence of their collusion, and so I dare not tamper with it myself. But given the events of recent days... I knew not whom to trust with this information. Until now. I've chosen you, Demajen. Pray, bear the letter to Mistress Memodi, the quicksand, and relate the circumstances of its discovery. Not only is she a staunch supporter of the Sultana, but she's well acquainted with the Sultan Swarm. She'll know how best to proceed. So, back to Uldar. Going to go and pick up the level 20 quest for Gladiator. While we are here. First Sword Miler has an urgent task for you.
Demajen, I'm glad you're here. One of our members has been attacked and gravely wounded, and I need you to go and help him. I suspect this is the work of more bounty hunters. It may even be a trap to lure more of us into the open. Nevertheless, we cannot ignore our comrade's plight. When last he contacted us by link pearl, he said he'd try to take shelter at the Coffer and Coffin. Take this potion and search for him there. Which we shall do in a moment. But first... Oh, I didn't mean to go to the Aetherite Plaza. I meant to go to the Adventurers Guild. Admittedly, it's not a huge run between the two. But, you know, time is money. Especially in a subscription. What? What? Ah, Demajen! It's been too long. Dadnan tells me you've been keeping busy in Horizon. I want you to know that I'm grateful for everything you've done for the people of Uldar. Even though you've seen the seedier side of our city, you've continued to help your fellow man. Believe me, the folk around here love you for it. What is it? You look like you got something to say. So that's what this is all about. Falupa's thinking Owens might have been in league with Baldwin, that this letter could be proof of something shady. Well, you needn't worry. Owen's as loyal a Sultan Swan as ever I known. I haven't the foggiest what this says, but... Wait a minute. Was that Owen the one who... Oh, hells. I got a bad feeling about this. Listen, Demajen, I think I know what this is all about, but I need you to swear to keep it quiet. If you'd rather wash your hands of this business, I won't hold it against you, but if you're determined to see it through to the bitter end, say the word and I'll explain. Again, it gives you a little bit of a breather there. Duty, honour, country. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more quests to do till the first dungeon, I think. Can I count on your discretion, Demajen? If so, then listen closely. This gives us a shiny new ring. The outside world believes Ulda to be a sultanate, ruled by Sultana Nanamo Ulnamo. Truth is, though, it's the 6 wealthiest citizens that hold the most sway, the syndicate. Be that as it may, the Sultana's still got the support of the people. But she might struggle to keep even that if a certain incident becomes public knowledge. It pains me to say it, but Her Grace's crown, the symbol of the royal dynasty, has been stolen. And Owen's the Sultan Swan who was charged with guarding it that night. I bet anything this letter was written by the bastards who made off with the crown. Can't be coincidence that man we know to have been fraternising with thieves has a letter for Owen of all people at this of all times. You need to take this to the man himself, Demajen. Tell him Mamoni sent you and that it concerns a lost heirloom. If it looks as though the fellow needs help, I want you to lend it to him. The future of our fair city may depend on it. Okay then. I'm assuming... Where actually is Owen? Yeah, up by the Alchemist Guild. So we shall take a short hop up there. Fail. Alchemist Guild. Should be there, yes. The heart of the sworn lies beyond. State your business. Pardon? Did you say a lost heirloom?
Mm-hmm.
Proceed.
So certain quests will lead you into little instanced areas like this.
Well met, adventurer. What business brings you here this day? A letter? Very well, let's see it. Have you read this, adventurer? Nuh-uh. I see, but you have some inkling as to its contents, I think. Mistress Murder has doubtless explained to you the significance of the crown and what its loss could mean for Her Grace the Sultana. The theft shames the Sultan Sworn, and me most of all. The blame is mine, you see. I grew lax in my duties, and in a moment of carelessness... No, it will do no good to recount the tale now. Since the hour of the theft, we've searched frantically for any signs, any whispers as to the whereabouts of the crown. We've found nothing. The identity of thieves and the motive seemed fated to remain a mystery until you arrived bearing this ransom note. In it the criminals state their price for the return of Her Grace's crown, and though it pains me to say it, I fear I have no choice but to acquiesce to their demands. Too much is at stake to do otherwise. The crown symbolises Her Grace's birthright and identifies her as the custodian of the Ul legacy. It must be recovered. I will travel to the unholy heir and pay them their ransom. Though I am not foolish enough to meet these men alone, as they stipulate, I dare not bring a host of my comrades lest the thieves take fright. Friend, would you consent to be present for the exchange? Mistress Ramodi has always spoken of you in the most glowing terms, and I have never yet had reason to question her judgment. On behalf of those still loyal to the Sultana, I beseech you, help us in our hour of need. Okay then. Do. Right. So I think basically, as I've said, the game starts you off depending on your class in a different city-state, and you spend 15 levels worth of main scenario quests becoming acquainted with the city-state that you're from, its ins and outs, its politics, etc., etc. And then, once you've proven yourself to the Adventurers Guild of Mamodi, then it widens the plot out. On launch day, like the very first launch day, this quest here was a massive roadblock for people. The servers overloaded, etc., etc. It caused a little bit of a problem. There's nobody here currently because we're 2 expansions past this particular point for most people. And we're going to have a nice little instance battle. Sink down to level 18. I've come as agreed. Now show me the crown. Ah, you'll have your precious crown once we've been duly compensated. Do you think me a fool? What assurance have I that you will honour your part of the agreement? No, Owen. You're the least trustworthy man here. Not only was the crown stolen on your watch, but it looks to me as if you violated the terms of our exchange. Did we not say that you were to come alone? And given that you are not alone, what guarantee have we that there isn't a company of archers surrounding us even as we speak, ready to feather me and my men the moment they catch a glimpse of the crown? You've made mock of our trust. The deal is off. Wait, here's your payment as promised. Ha, 'tis the real thing. 1,000 thanks to you, boy. You succeeded where scores of thieves have failed. And now at long last we have it. The power to create an army of undying soldiers, the traders spurn. No, it can't be. What have I done? Surely you must have wondered what it was you were handing over. What it was that seemed as valuable to us as the crown seemed to you. Or did you assume we were feeling charitable? But you must feel terrible knowing that you brought us the doom of Sildi. Worry not, boy. We'll grant you a quick death and spare you further ignominy. Shocking betrayal from lots of identical twins. There's too many, Demajen. Run while you still can. I will do my duty. It's your duty. It's your duty to serve the Sultana, lad, and you'll be doing it for a good while yet. But wait! Sultan sworn! Put these thieves to the sword and secure the crown! Bam, 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 bam. Hero moment. Sultan sworn? Ha! No matter, kill them all. Do. Yeah, I'm already here. There are quite a few little instances like this that have got background characters to make it seem like a larger scale conflict than it actually is. Just gives it that little bit of extra scale. Which is kind of important if you want like an epic. Who's queuing there? Right, if I remember correctly, the spell weavers are conjurers, so they can heal. Yes. Curse dealers are black mages. They get to die. Right, now Garibold can't stun this. He will hearken to me, denizen of the abyss, slay these interlopers. Hey look! It's this guy again. What was he, level 12 last time? But we were only level 4 or 5 or whatever it was. Not this time, Blanga. Master Papashan, but why? How? The general saw you sneak into the vaults, Owen.
He suspected something was afoot and ordered us to keep an eye on you.
The Flame General? He ordered you to look after me?
Master Papashan, more of them to the north. After them, Sultan Sworn, they have the crown. This lot sought only to delay us.
Let us speak again back in the city.
Bye then. But wait.
The source of her strength becomes clear.
You may have bested the golem, but you will not fare so well this day. O mournful voice of creation, send unto me a creature of the abyss, my thrall to command, that I may smite mine enemies. You'll see quite a few of these, and they've all got different symbols on their faces. I wonder if anybody's actually made a record of those. Bloop, 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 bloop. Hello. Your very being imperils the plan. You cannot be suffered to live. They're going to end up sounding like Alan Rickman if I'm not careful. The Masked Mage. Soon you shall take your vile gifts to the grave. Why, there's the venom eats its way through your veins. Yes, we are poisoned. Whence springs this preternatural might? We are chosen. We are an instrument. Oh, hey, Thancred. You certainly have a knack for getting into trouble. An unwelcome guest. No matter, all shall fall before me. Afraid not, Masked Mage. Oh no, I'm bound. No mortal should possess such strength. You did, bitch. Doesn't actually die though. As we find out in a bit, they don't die. That the wisdom of the paragons should be brought low by mere mortals. Actually, I think this is just one of the kind of fleshy hosts. Paragons? This is indeed a disturbing revelation. We'd long suspected the involvement of the bringers of chaos, Ascians, to give them their true name. But we could not be sure they were responsible for the recent disturbances until now. As if the Sultanate needed any more enemies. Have we Charlanes crossed paths with Assassins before? Well, we've certainly... Wait, I don't recall telling you about my homeland. Ah, yes, that's right, you're one of the gifted. You know, this marks the third time I've found you in the midst of trouble. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were a lodestone for it. Anyway, I'm glad I started following you around. Who knows what grand conspiracy you'll stumble upon next.
I jest. Had I truly been watching your every move, I wouldn't have taken so long to intervene in your latest altercation. But all's well that ends well, eh? Our masked friend is no more. And while I very much doubt we've seen the last of his kind, his demise will likely grant us at least some respite. And on that note, I must away. Until next time, Demajen. Hold on. Right, while we're here, where are we? Let's go and do that stuff in the coffer and coffin. I forgot to put on that helmet. You can change the names of gear sets in here if you want to, or you can just keep it as default, in which case it will actually tell you the 3-letter acronym for the class or job that you're playing as, plus the total item level of your gear set, which in my case is 17. Just gives you a nice, easy-ish way to check roughly how you are doing item and gearing wise. Help me, I can't film her. Thank you, sister. It all happened so fast. Over by the tracks to the north. I don't know who attacked me nor why they left me alive, but I dare say the answer's out there. Surely someone saw something. So we get to do a little bit of... The fellow outside? Ah, I saw him stumble in when I left the bar to take a piss. Was alone as I recall. You say he's wounded? Thought he was just drunk. Demajen fails at doors. It fled. Suspicious characters? Well, now you mention it, I did see a strange fellow wearing a garish purple robe. At first I thought he was talking to himself, but then I realised he had a link pearl. I heard him say something about the wrong man and the silver bazaar. Does that help? The silver bazaar is an area in another zone, actually. And this is the ambush point. Let's take a look around. Oh hey, giant tortoise. Ching. Purple robe? Sounds familiar. Oh, it was him, I swear it. Did you find anything else? Picked this up by the tracks, eh? Might well have belonged to the bastard. Can't say I've seen its like before. Might be as Wyman could tell you more. You know him, don't you? He's the bespectacled bloke who's always lounging around Elmore Avenue in the city. Of course, being the businessman that he is, he'll probably ask to be compensated in exchange. Show that ring to Wyman. He's sure to know something about it. Well now, if it ain't Demajen, everyone's favourite venturer, i.e. through your lighting with the gladiators. Questionable decision given the events of recent days, but each to his own. To what do I owe the pleasure? Oh, put that thing away before someone sees it. Where in the seven hells you get one of those rings? What? Don't you recognise the sigil? Goddamn fool. Before you go stumbling about in the bush, you ought to at least know what kind of venomous bastards be lurking within. Been a long time since all this in a criminal organisation rise from obscurity to notoriety as quickly as the Alacron. Word is they've got connections to the Brass Blades, the Syndicates, and God knows who else. But you didn't hear any of that from me. I want no part of whatever mess you and your mates have gotten yourselves into, understand? Bum bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum. Oh, Demajen, I was wondering when you might return. What news do you bring of our injured comrade? The Alacron? I find that hard to believe, but no matter. One of our comrades returned from Stone's Throw moments ago. A gang of bandits is said to be headed for the Silver Bazaar. They're after a man with an enormous bounty on his head. The people living there are in grave danger. In their frenzy to find their quarry, the bandits won't scruple to destroy property and harm civilians, and the few Brass Blades stationed there will be powerless to stop them. We must stop them, Demajen. We'll protect the Silver Bazaar and avenge our injured guildmate, all in one fell swoop. Oh, a bit melodramatic, if you ask me. Aldous, I told you never to come here again. I couldn't sit idly by while you charged into battle against an enemy you know nothing about. Milo, a responsible guildmaster, would never risk their lives for charges like this. Who are you to lecture me about responsibility? Milo, listen to me. This is the Alacron you're dealing with. So? Whatever notoriety they may have achieved means nothing to me. We'll cut them down like the common bandits they are. It's not that simple. More importantly, it's not your fight. What are you saying? They want me, Myla. I've been fending off assassination attempts ever since I returned to Thanalan. Just stay here and let me handle this. It'll be over soon, I promise. Just stay here while you go off on your own, is that it? It's been 7 years since I let you leave, Aldous. 7 years. Do you have any idea at all what you put me through? Myla. I don't want to hear it, you selfish bastard. Do you even care about the people who suffered because of you? Just get out. We don't need your help. We'll settle this ourselves. Myla, wait. There's something you need to know. Enough. Get out. Get out. All right. Save some of that for the Alacron, but do try not to let Demajen here come to harm while you're at it. Let's go do that first, I think. I forgot which gate that is. Nald. Go to the Sultana. Right. I see the giant tortoise is a 12 here. Where does that go? Oh, that takes us to the housing area. We don't want to go there. Bombs,
Copper Goblins, Bloated Bogies, those two are by the mines. Bloated Bogies are all the way over here, and we'll be going there soon enough. Right, in theory, what I was saying about these things shouldn't aggro you if you're a certain number of levels above them. There we go, that's your proof. This rate will be level 30 by the time we get a chocobo. One thing I do recommend, if you're playing this through, is stop and take a look at the scenery, because there's an immense amount of detail put into some of the places here. Not necessarily always where there needs to be honest, but generally speaking, a lot of attention has been put. I mean, that lighthouse there, I must have walked past this zone, this area, 50, 60 times really early on in the game, but I can't say I've ever really noticed that formation. And try and do it in the day and at night as well, because the illumination obviously changes things. These chocobo porters say exactly the same thing every time. There's never any new information. Right, there you are, Demajen. Everyone's already in position. Are you prepared? Yep. Right, let's defeat some henchmen. Right, these are slightly tougher because they are level 20 and we are on level. Fortunately, our squad does heal itself. Get the little enemies out of the way first. Help with the bigger mobs for a little bit. Kill the kindness first. Teaches you a little bit about target priorities. Damn. I was hoping to keep him alive. Should have used my aggro combo. Right, these guys are pretty nasty. Ouch, jeez. Let's get some of these black mages dead. This is the last wave. we go. Nice chunk of XP actually from that. Rejoice, gladiators, for the day is ours. Hold on.
But why would you be...
Leave him to us, first sword.
No, stop!
Yeah.
Such brittle blades, so easily broken. Perhaps the first sword is made of stronger steel.
Leave her, Sana. Our business here is over.
What have you done, Leovold? First sword, we must withdraw. The wounded need tending. Let us take them back to the guild.
Story continues. Ooh, I think I've got a dead pixel on the monitor there. That's annoying. No. 1 more minute before I can return.
That's annoying.
Anything interesting around here? Not really.
And they're all over the other side of the zone.
If I actually put return on my bars, it will show me exactly how long I've got left. Yeah, it's a good chunk of time. Run, tiny animal, run! Yeah, rather infuriatingly, until you've got a license, you can't, regardless of what mounts you own, you can't summon them. So you need a chocobo license before you can use mounts that aren't chocobos. Again, a very gamey thing. But I suppose it does stop you being able to use your pre-order mounts at level 1, which would give you a little bit of an advantage.
Give me a moment, Demajen. I need to think.
I wanted to spare you this, Milo. I begged you not to go.
You knew, Aldous, that Leovold had... Nice clogs. Leovold and I once fought side by side in the Colosseum. The twin swords of Nalthal, they called us. Never lost a match, honoured by the Bull of Alamigo himself. But that was then, and this is now. When I learned Leovold single-handedly transformed the Alacrum from a gang of common thieves into the most feared criminal organisation in Thanlon, I knew I had to return. Seems like a lifetime ago that the three of us used to train together in this hall. The Leovold I knew would never stoop so low. He was a good man, strong and true. What would drive him to this? When I find him, I'll be sure to ask. Fortunately, he seems determined to kill me for my curiosity. What aren't you telling me, Aldous? I'm not clever enough to keep secrets, my dear. I'm a simple man, only capable of dealing with what's right in front of me. Is that so? I'll find him, Milo. I promise. Bye. Guess we'll have the helmet. Do. Takes us up to 21. Which means we can use all three of those items, the lantern shield being... the lantern shield, as you can see, is a high block rate, low block strength shield. Carnage sword's quite cool as well, it's a fancy blue colour. Which I really like. It's one of the nicer sword models in the game, especially early on. Next quest is at 25. And again, gives us some weapon options, some armour options, including this horribly ugly thing. I shall not be using that. I will never use that. Right, we need to go up to the Alchemist Guild, isn't it? To continue with the story. Getting close to the end of the first 15 levels of main story quests. As I say, we are a little bit over leveled now. Everyone is waiting for you, adventurer. You'll find quite a few of these gate guard style NPCs that just let you into areas that you couldn't otherwise get to. Papashan! Give us the Uldon ring, which is probably no use to us anymore, but whatever. Does it surprise you to see me dressed so, Demajen? I was once a Sultan sworn, you know, though it's been 15 years since I put down my sword and took up the role of station master. It is a capacity in which I am no less proud to serve, lest you doubt. Whenever Her Grace ventures outside the gates, I have the honour of protecting her person. Never before had I seen her so despondent as when news of the crown's theft reached her ears. But thanks to your valiant efforts, she has returned to her former vibrant self. You have the gratitude of every Sultan sworn, Demajen.
Exalted vessel of Nalthal, guardian of Thanalan, 17th ascendant to the throne of Uldar, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ulnamo presides.
Long live Nanamo!
Long live
Glory
Nanamo!
to the
Glory
Sultana!
to the Sultana!
Forever may she
Forever
reign!
may she reign!
They regaled me with tales of a champion amongst champions, one whose tireless service to the crown merited the highest honor we might bestow. Never did it occur to me that it might be you. Bring it forth!
This is the ring.
Betokening our gratitude and esteem, I, Nanamo Ulnamo, Sultana of Uldar, confer upon you this gift. Rauban,
This is our first introduction to Rauban, who is the head of the Immortal Flames, and he is a badass.
who goes really Sean Bean post in Heaven's Ward and Above. I think he sounds kind of normal in this.
Your Grace.
See to it that our champion is my personal guest at the banquet.
As you command, Your Grace.
Yeah, so they changed his voice actor between the initial release and the expansion. In fact, I think they changed the entire cast.
If what they say is true, Ul'dah owes you a great debt.
Because they basically had to rush the game through. The production values on some of the voice acting is a little bit meh.
I am Rauban al-Din. With the consent of Her Grace, I oversee the affairs of the Sultanate.
He's cool looking though.
Brave
Sadly, we
souls are
cannot
few
get
and
that
far
hair.
between in these times. I count my blessings when I find one. Her Grace invites you to join her at the coming banquet. I trust I will see you there.
Damn straight.
An honor, indeed. Come, hero. Until then, for the sake of Her Grace and the glory of the Sultanate, may you walk in the light of the crystal.
So this is our first step into the bigger world. You know, we're starting to mingle with kings and queens and rulers. And we would like to speak with you regarding the Sultana's invitation. By the 12, Demajen, for an adventurer to receive a personal invitation from Her Grace is unprecedented. Seats at these banquets are offered only to the most distinguished individuals. You'll be dining with some of the most influential people in Ul'dah. There are, of course, certain protocols that must be observed. But I am no authority on them. Fear not, however. Mistress Memodi has long been responsible for familiarising foreign guests with our customs. Pray return to the quicksand and speak with her. She will tell you all you need know. Oh yes, let's see whether the Ul'dah ring is actually... No, it is not. It is not in any way an upgrade. Welcome back, Demajen, and congratulations on your invite to the big soiree. To be honest, I never imagined I'd be explaining these procedures to you. It's usually only foreign dignitaries who get to hear me prattle on and on about royal traditions. Anyway, I know you're a busy woman, so I'll keep it short and sweet. In accordance with ancient custom, all guests to this banquet are required to wear a pair of ceremonial earrings made specially for the occasion. They're meant to symbolise... Actually, forget about that. This is meant to be the short version. Ahem. Being of a design unique to the occasion, the earrings serve as a security measure. The Sultan Swarm won't let you near the hall without them. Your set should be ready and waiting for you at the Goldsmiths Guild. Mistress Serendipity is expecting you, so you want to head down there now. Once you've got them, bring them back here and we'll continue. So this is a little bit of a fetch quest. But it's a fetch quest, you know, like a lot of things in Final Fantasy XIV. It's a fetch quest with a story behind it. The idea that these earrings are security devices and that you know, it's a form of identification is quite a cool idea. It also introduces you to the Goldsmiths Guild if you haven't been down here, and Serendipity, who is entertaining and kind of cute. Greetings, is there something I can help you with? Ah, Demajen, your earrings are right here. I crafted them myself, I'll have you know. I think you'll be very pleased. In the case Mistress Memodi didn't warn you, the box is locked and I'm not permitted to give you the key. It's a final safeguard, you see.
Only designated individuals are authorised to distribute the earrings to guests. In this instance, the person in question is none other than Mistress Meredi, so you'll need to ask her to open the box on your behalf. Pardon the inconvenience, but the Sultan's will take Her Grace's safety very seriously. Again, fetch quest, but story driven. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all of the fetch quests in the game have got like good stories, because they don't. They really don't. But they're not bad. They're not bad. They're never terrible. Although some of the voice acting is, including mine. But I have started, so I shall finish. Nope. Picked up your earrings yet, Demajen? Let me just... Well now, looks like the guildmaster outdid herself with this pair. You best take good care of these earrings. If they fell into the wrong hands, gods only know what might happen. Now then, I hope you're feeling sociable, Demajen, because you're about to hobnob with Uldar's elite. Let me know when you're ready to head to the banquet. This is it, Demajen, your big debut in Uldan High Society. The banquet's being held in the Fragrant Chamber. Head over to the Royal Promenade and Bartholomew will show you in. Oh, but be sure to put on your earrings first or we'll send you packing. Right, well, I reckon that's everything. Try not to let all the pomp and ceremony get to you. Just be yourself, you'll be fine. Side note, we will not be fine. Put those on. In case you didn't know, earrings in FF14 actually have physical models. Which is a touch I very much appreciate. In fact, all of the jewellery does. The only thing that doesn't have physical models is in fact the belt. They used to have physical models back in version 1. But it was an unnecessary addition to character model. It made everything a lot higher polygon count because it meant that you had to have deformations of outfits, etc, etc. So they decided against that. I must remember to change the earrings back after this. A banquet hosted by Her Grace the Sultana is due to begin shortly. Attendance is by invitation only. Please make way for arriving guests. This guy, Bartholomew, stands here for the entirety of ever. He's the gate guard to instance areas beyond. We are honoured to receive you, my lady. Please proceed inside. Obviously, he doesn't say that if you're not wearing the earrings. In fact, you can't interact with him properly. He's got a red sun above his head. And this is Uldan High Fashion. And me mingling.
All hail the Sultana.
Ooh. I forget I need to advance this, don't I?
Your Grace.
Raubon?
God, I hate his voice actor. This is how strong he is.
The Royal House of Ul, I, Nanamo, 17th of my line, have summoned you here.
Oops.
We are graced this day by the presence of a hero to Uldar.
That's me.
And dear friend to the crown.
That's me.
Honored guests, I give you our champion.
Woohoo! And don't I look the part?
I bid you enjoy the feast.
That outfit.
Not to spoil your appetite, But Uldar is hardly so bountiful as this meal would have you believe. While we gorge ourselves, children starve in the streets. Nor can her grace do aught to help them. She is thwarted at every turn by those on the Syndicate who derive their wealth from the workers' poverty. Beneath her mask of stately serenity, she is aghast at the plight of her subjects. But there will be no hope for the masses until the crown is restored to power. I am truly grateful for all you have done for Uldar, but there is so much more to do. That light, what is it?
It's a crystal.
So bright, almost like by the 12. Tell me true, have you been troubled by strange dreams of late? Visions of the crystal?
Yep.
Mayhap you put them down to an excess of ether?
This has happened before.
Yes, you are like they were.
The Warriors of Light.
Allow me to explain. Before you came to Eorzea, there were others like you who fought the Primals. Though they were not of this land, when the Guardian Empire threatened the realm, they helped bring together the 3 grand companies. And they stood with us at Cartano, that fateful day 5 years ago. The day we lost them. None who survived have forgotten the hero's sacrifice. Nor would any man deny they fought alongside us. But the names of these heroes come not to our lips. The once familiar pages of their story are now blank to us. And in our mind's eye, their faces are naught but silhouettes amid a blinding glare. It is for this reason that we have come to call them the Warriors of Light.
We have been told this before, right at the start, but in case you've forgotten in all the excitement since that first speech of Mamodi's way back at the start, because that was, what, 4 plus 5 maybe hours ago, we get this little recap.
When I look at you, I cannot help but think of them, and of what you might achieve. You must protect that crystal at all costs.
Yep.
It is a gift from Hydaelyn, mother of all, and one she gave to you for a reason. Yours is no ordinary tale. If I am right, the fate of the realm may yet hang upon your deeds.
So very true.
Only heroes and martyrs are fit to bear such a burden. Let us pray you are the former.
Spoiler alert, we are. Oop. Oh, and yes, it gives us a little insight now into Cartano and the battle that took place there. That's downward, descending.
Flames to the fore! Victory belongs to the bold. Show those Imperial whore sons what we're made of!
The left flank buckles. Divert the barracudas. Hold that position, though it cost them their lives.
The yellow serpents are in need of succor. Pray,
I hate
send
that
the
word.
white wolves to their aid. The adventurers risk life and limb for our cause. We must not fail them.
Cassian.
Is aught amiss?
No, it is nothing.
Sadly, the old-timey language can be a little bit distracting.
Bloody hells! The barrier won't go down so easily! Eyes forward!
We are being watched.
Bit of irony there. This is a little bit later on in the battle.
Raging Bull, calling Bloodthorn! Bloodthorn, respond! Respond, damn you!
Raging Bull, this is Mad Snake. Respond.
Ryder, this is Raging Bull. What news?
We're surrounded by a blaze. There is no way out. God preserve, what is that thing?
What's going on? Speak to me!
God damn it! We cannot hold much longer.
Mad Snake! Mad Snake! Answer me!
Just in case you didn't get the Metal Gear Solid reference.
Damn it! Damn it all to the seventh hell!
What of the Barracudas? Can they not be reached?
Sorry, Admiral. Shell's not working.
What of our own?
I cannot say, my lady. That monstrosity appears to be disrupting our communications.
We must keep trying. Call till they respond.
Yes, my lady.
Admiral, General, we can do no more. We must give the order to withdraw.
I will not forsake Louis Soir!
General, please. Victory may belong to the bold, but there will be no victor this day. You know this to be true. Let us not sacrifice lives in vain. The adventurers fight bravely, but to no avail. Let them withdraw, and let us be the ones to stand with Louis Soir.
Belay previous orders. All Maelstrom units are commanded to fall back, effective immediately. Give the foreign levy priority. Let the main host cover their retreat and bring up the rear.
Damn it! Relay the order. All flames are to withdraw. I don't care if our link cells are useless. You still have a working pair of legs, don't you? Well, use them, you bloody half-wit!
The outcome of this battle was long since decided. Better to retreat now than risk a massacre. This dark, stifling presence. Who or what? We go to take our place beside Archon Louisoix. To your positions.
Does it give us the cutscene now? I can't remember. Oh no. More Asian stuff.
Kasbamul, Soginin Wese Donzul. Logalo, Asawad Deken Bet Mubut. Imarat Way, Kiskat Toga Hats Wadadorns. Seasonigem, Fistun the only Lamrai Zadai Dorn.
Mysterious. Oh, that properly laid us out. How are you feeling, Demajen? I love how I've made her into some kind of weird cockney. They said you fainted in the middle of one of the general's stories. I had to have you carried back to the Hourglass. I reckon you made quite an impression on your fellow guest, though probably not the sort you intended. Pretty sure you're getting enough rest, Demajen. The life of an adventurer can be pretty taxing. That's a bit too fast. Anyway, I'm glad to see you back to normal. No offence, but looking after you was getting a bit tiresome. Oh, before I forget, the General left a message for you. Said that when you're feeling up to it, you should come and see him at the Hall of Flames. Probably wants to finish the story he was telling you when you fell asleep. This is actually our first time in the inn room. Which is quite interesting, actually, because I thought we needed to... Ah, okay, that's there regardless. Right, this is the armoire. It allows us to store certain types of gear, but not actually a great deal. But I can put the chicken knife in there. There's up some inventory space. Let's put the onion helm in. Oh, you can only store things that have got... But yeah, we can get rid of all of these. Zidane is the name of the guy I have remembered. Right, and I need to put the right earrings back on. Right, this is the orchestrion. It basically lets you change the music in your in-room or your house or wherever. You need to find songs for it. It's a cool feature. There are some brilliant pieces of music in this game. In fact, there are... I would go so far as to say that there are no bad pieces of music in this game. There are some different pieces of music, some very odd, at times, pieces of music, but the Final Fantasy series as a whole has always prided itself on having excellent music and musicians, so it's no real surprise that this continues that tradition. Right, let's talk to Raban. I've been waiting for you, Demajen. I trust you're fully recovered. Good, because there's much work to be done, work that I'd have you do. That's the level 14 quest. We are so far ahead of where we need to be. Listen well, Demajen. This'll take some time to explain. Right, this is the Uldan Envoy. And this is what is going to open up the world for a sort of slightly faster travel around the world. Raban means to entrust us with a task of the utmost import. Is the voice acting for this? I can't remember. I prepared these letters for my counterparts in the Eorzean Alliance. "5 years ago, we looked on powerless as our brothers and sisters were taken from us at Carthano, first by the Garleans, and then by the thrice-damned primal called forth by their treachery. Not a day goes by that I do not think of my fallen comrades, and of the warriors of light, of whom no trace remained. The tragedies of the calamity are not so easily forgotten, nor should they be, and remembering all we've lost, we're reminded of what we still have. And so I mean to mark the 5th anniversary of the Battle of Carthano with a memorial service honouring the fallen. It's my hope that my counterparts in the Alliance will agree to do the same. And I would have you bear my words to them as my personal envoy. Why you? Because your deeds mark you out as the nearest thing I have to a warrior of light. I can think of none more worthy of the role. The question is, will you accept it?" Nod. "Then it is agreed. You will journey to Gridania and Limsa as my official representative. Now, that's a great many miles to travel, but I've neither the time nor patience to wait around while you do it on foot. I hereby grant you permission to use the airship route connecting the 3 city-states. This pass serves as proof of your privilege. Gone are the days when airship travel was available to all. The ever-present threat of Imperial attack has forced us to impose drastic restrictions out of concern for public safety. These passes are only granted when circumstances demand it, as in this case, though there were others who insisted you be granted one regardless. Aye, Demajen, I'm not alone in seeing it. Your potential is plain. But I've said enough. In the name of the Sultana, I bid you go forth. See for yourself the wonders of the realm for which the warriors of light risked all. Rise to your calling and fulfill your promise. And should your path be barred by man or beast, strike fast and true, for victory belongs to the bold. Now go, Demajen, and heed the crystal's guidance should you ever lose your way." So, the Uldan Envoy gives us a lot of freedom. It gives us the airship pass, which allows us to travel to the other city-states. We can go there on foot already. Or by boat in the case of Limsa, because it is an island. But now we can get our first opportunity to fast travel there. It's a lot quicker than going on foot, realistically. Back from your meeting with Raban, are you? What did the big man have to say? Is that a fact? Personal envoy of the Flame General himself. So you'll be bearing the great man's word to the leader of the Alliance, will you? And by airship. Bugger me, that's an honour and a half, that is. But I can't think of anyone who deserves it more. I'm proud of you, Demajen. I truly am. Now, I dare say Raban told you this, but not many people get to go on airships these days. In fact, most go to the graves having never once seen an Eorzea from above. Poor buggers shuffle off to meet Thal, having never known the blues of Limsa shimmering seas, or the myriad greens of leafy Gridania. But not you, Demajen. You'll see these sights and more, and everywhere you go you'll find fascinating folk with fascinating tales to tell. The people you meet, the places you go, savour these experiences, for they are priceless all. Saying that, it'd be remiss of me if I didn't remind you to be careful out there. Uldar ain't the only place beset by troubles, as you'll discover when you visit Limsa and Gridania. Truth be told, that might well be exactly what the General wants you to realise. I think he knows what kind of woman you are, Demajen. And what kind is that, you ask? Why, the kind that can't resist sticking her nose in other people's business, of course. And don't you ever go changing. Safe travels, Demajen. I'll see you when you get back. Dear Lord, my voice acting. Right. Okay, so this is the airship landing. We can now technically use the Ethernet to warp to here, which is a new feature. I don't know when they put that in, because you very rarely need to use this after the first go. There's an airship out there. Greetings, madam. This is the reservation counter for passengers travelling to Limsa Lominsa. If I'm not mistaken, you are the Flame General's envoy, Demajen Thornley, yes? Highwind Skyways is at your service. Will you be flying with us today? Yarp. Gangplank. Here we go. Attention all passengers. The airship bound for Limsa Lominsa is about to depart. Please make your way to the boarding gates. And everybody turns out to see us off. We are special. So special that we don't need to hold on to anything. Gravity works a little bit weirdly on airships in these cutscenes. Nice aerial view of Uldar. Nice little bit of motion cap. Our balance is astonishing. Bye! When first we met beneath the Sultan tree, I sensed there was something unusual about her. I wonder if they will feel the same. Godspeed, Demajen. Godspeed. If I'm right, they'll be singing your praises from here to the far reach before long. May you always walk in the light of the crystal. Whee! So this is like Act 1, if you like, of your and then we cut to Castrum Occidens, or Occidens, present day. The Imperial theme. This is a pre-rendered cutscene, as you can probably tell. Bum, 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 bum. These are our main antagonists.
It has been 15 years, but the bitter taste of defeat lingers still. 15 years since the Imperial fleet set course for Mordona, led by the Egrios, mightiest of all vessels. Silver Till Lake lay ripe for the taking, and all of Eorzea would soon be ours. Or so we believed. But an innumerable host of dragons met us that day, at the heart of which flew the great Midgard Zormer. Though we we succeeded in slaying that lord among worms, the dread serpent's defeat was bought at too high a price. Our invincible flagship was lost, and all hope of victory with her. So ended our glorious conquest. Eorzea, a blighted realm, riddled with false gods. Twice now it has eluded the Empire's grasp. For all the destruction it wrought, even Meteor, the great sin, failed to yield us control over it. And for this failure, the realm has sunk deeper into depravity. It is twisted beyond all reckoning, rotten nigh to the core. Yet, it must be saved. Only Garlean rule can bring order to Eorzea. It falls to us to deliver the misguided masses from their ignorance.
We are of one mind, Lord Van Balzar.
Senior engineers, please report to Magitech research following scheduled inspection.
Hey, is the Legatus really planning to take another tilt at the Eorzea?
Hey? What hole have you been hiding in? We're in the midst of preparing for a new campaign, and a huge one at that.
But I thought the Emperor had given up the Western lands for lost after Carteneau. What could the Legatus possibly hope to gain by acting alone?
I sense you harbor certain doubts over the wisdom of the Legatus's plan.
My lord!
Please, call me Nero. Tell me, where were you born?
Othard, my lord.
Alamigo, my lord.
Ah, codename Hummingway, I presume.
I don't know what you...
Silence. Your denials will not change your fate. I assure you, Frumentarium sees all. Clean up this mess, and do not miss any, or I shall be most displeased.
At once, my lord.
Garland, soon you will be made to know the true power of Magitech.
There's a few references in there. I'd forgotten that Nero's got quite a good voice actor. You don't hear him speak much in the later. Well, don't want to spoil anything. This is Limsa. Limsa Lominsa, city by the sea, city of pirates. Arguably my favourite of the cities, basically because, well, pirates. Not that way.
Ah, you must be the envoy from Uldar. Welcome to Limsa, madam. Admirable Bluffsfin awaits your arrival. Bluffsfin. A lot of the names that sound kind of German are Old High Germanic, according to the guy that runs the law department. You are the old envoy. Welcome to Limsa. The Admiral has been looking forward to your arrival. Please proceed to the Crow's Lift at your earliest convenience. It will take you to Bulwark Hall. Once there, pray speak with Xanthiel. He will be pleased to show you into the Admiral's command room on the bridge. Right. Lims is a two-tiered city, just like the others. Just before we go and continue by talking to Xanthel, the Storm Sergeant over there, we are going to come and... Hello. We're going to come and attune ourselves to the Aetheryte here. Pshum. What are you wearing? Ah, the level 70 monk stuff. Right, so by tuning to the Aetheryte there, we can actually teleport here much faster than, going up to the airship landing, buying an airship ticket, etc, etc. Greetings, madam, and welcome to our fair city. If you'd permit me to examine the seal on the missive you carry. Yes, everything seems to be in order. My apologies. Cannot afford to be complacent, you understand. Please step this way.
Enter. So the silver-tongued merchants send an adventurer to speak for them. It appears the Uldans place great faith in you. This way. I bid you welcome. I am Melvi Bluffisvin, Admiral of Limsa Lominsa, and Commander of the Maelstrom. Now, what news from Thanalan?
Fade to black. Because we never speak. A memorial service to honour the fallen. Seven hells. Has it been 5 years? 5 years since the Garlean Empire sought to wrest Eorzea from our grasp. It was in answer to the Imperial threat that the city-states formed the Grand Companies and forged the Eorzean alliance anew. But Garlemald was not content to wager all on a simple contest of martial mights. They had other plans, the Meteor Project. Legatus Nail von Darnus, hells take him, intended to cleanse our realm by snatching the lesser moon Dalamud from the heavens and casting it down upon our heads. Desperate to prevent this lunatic scheme, we marched our forces to the Cartano Flats and there met the 7th Imperial Legion in battle. Never have I seen a fight like the Battle of Cartano, and I have seen full many. But though we gave no quarter, spared not 1 ounce of effort, we could not prevent what followed. From inside the shell of Dalamud came a winged nightmare, a dragon the size of a bloody city. 'Twas the elder primal Bahamut, bent on making an 8th hell of Eorzea. In the space of a breath, the legions of the Empire were set aflame, while our own armies fared little better. 'Twas as if the whole world was burning. Words cannot well describe the scene. And yet, by some miracle, a few among us were spared. Even as I steeled myself for death, a blinding white light enveloped me, robbing me of my senses. When I regained them, the dragon was gone, and the still smouldering land was warped beyond all knowing. Were Archon Louisoix still with us, he would doubtless shed some light on these unfathomable happenings. Alas, he is not, and I fear we will want for his wisdom in the days to come. For while our nations struggle to recover from the devastation, the beastmen call forth their damned primals to torment us anew. Unless we put aside our differences and rebuild now, our foes will catch us unprepared. And I speak not only of the beastmen. Do not imagine that the Empire has forsaken its claim on Eorzea. The Imperials crowd our borders, waiting to strike. Damn it. We need champions to replace those we lost. But such thoughts are worse than worthless. Time is short, and none will save us save ourselves. It is the duty of every soul who survived the calamity to work together for the good of Eorzea, and this memorial service may be the very thing to unite us. Raban has the right of it. I accept his proposal. Your duty is done here, adventurer. I will see to it that the Flame General receives my reply. You travel next to Gridania, yes? Nod. Pray give my regards to the Elder Seer. Oh, and tell her that the wolf has been sniffing around the stables. A private jest and one in poor taste, but I would have you tell it all the same. Very well, Demajen. May the Navigator guide you on your journey. I've done a lot of research as a writer into good storytelling, what makes a good story, and specifically what makes a good villain. And one of the keys to creating a good villain is having is having somebody that believes that their way is for the good of others, and this is something that the Imperials in FF14 have going for them when they remember to write it into the story, because it's not always made very clear. The idea behind the Imperials is that all of the Beastmen and the summoning of primals in Eorzea, a lot of which happened in version 1 as well, the Imperials believe that is damaging the planet. It's screwing things up, and they see the Imperials see it as their duty to essentially curb this barbarism of these primitive species, and they do that through basically subjugating the people. So yes, I feel it makes for a fairly compelling motivation when, as I say, they remember to actually write it into the story. And it is difficult. It is difficult to kind of come up with a villain that is suitably villainous, but you can always consistently say, this is why they're doing it. Very often they can become a little bit one-dimensional. A lot of people argue that Kefka in Final Fantasy VI was one-dimensional. He wanted to destroy the world for the fun of it. Or like the Joker in Batman is arguably one-dimensional. But equally, a lot of people would argue that the Joker has got many, many dimensions because he's nuts and his motivations can change on a whim. The Elder Seas to await your arrival. Yeah, I'm not going to read out some of the tiny incidental text. You have got the point. There's a lot of text in this game. Greetings, good madam. You are the Uldan envoy, are you not? I have received instructions to assist you. Pray make your way into the city proper and identify yourself to the conjurer Nofficus Alta. She will admit you to the lotus stand where the elder seed seer awaits. So this is the inn, the Carline Canopy. This is the Gridania version of Momodi. I'm repairing all of these so that I can put them in my armoire. At later points in the story, obviously, you will come back to this area and you can go around and attune yourself to the Ethernet, etc., etc. But that is the kind of stuff that you don't really want to be boring people on a stream with. This is the Adder's Nest, which is the Gridanian version of the Hall of Flames. This is where one of the 3 grand companies sits around and does nothing. They really don't do anything. I haven't decided actually which grand company I will use. This is one of the most important Ethernets in the game. You come to Nofficus Alta quite a lot. You are the Uldan envoy? Begging your pardon, madam, but might I inspect the missive you bear? Verily, this is the seal of the Supreme Commander of the Immortal Flames. Please, come with me. This is Kanisana.
So you are the Uldan envoy.
Who gets a different voice actress later on, thank God.
On behalf of our fair nation, I bid you welcome. Please. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Khan A. Senna, Elder Seed Seer of Gridania, and leader of the Order of the Twin Adder, our nation's grand company. I understand you bear a message from the Flame General.
A remembrance service for the fallen of Cartano. Pray, tell me, adventurer, what do you know of our conflict with the Empire? It would seem my counterparts recounted the tale in some detail. That is well. A message from the Admiral. A wolf has been sniffing around her stables, you say? I see. Well, I shall be pleased to provide her with counsel as I am able. But first, friend of my friend, I would tell you more of the Garlean threat. For the greater part of our history, Garlemald was not even among the most influential nations in Ilsabard, the northern continent. However, its innovations in the field of magitech some 50 years past helped to raise it from the depths of obscurity. Emboldened by this technology, it set about subjugating its neighbours, swiftly absorbing each into its ever-expanding territory. And when all of Ilsabard lay within its grasp, it turned its ravenous gaze upon Eorzea. Yet Garlemald's transformation did not come about by virtue of Magitech alone. Its success owed much to the consummate leadership of its first and reigning emperor. Solus Zos Galvus, the man who built an empire in his own lifetime. Yet he has lived long, and after more than 80 winters, so he's 80, it is said that he grows frail and ever more prone to illness. The score is 20, if you didn't know. If rumours are to be believed, the matter of succession has destabilised the imperial court. This would explain the empire's relative inactivity in recent years, which has granted us much needed time to rebuild. Yet we cannot allow ourselves to become complacent, for Garlemald still maintains a presence in Eorzea in the form of the 14th Imperial Legion. Commanding this great host is Legatus Gaius von Baelsar, a man whose ambitions are well known to us. So long as he breathes Eorzean air, none of us may sleep easy. The calamity wreaked such devastation upon the realm that it has been all we could do to nurse our wounds, never mind rebuild our defences. Simply put, we have not the strength to repel the Empire. To add to our woes, the beast tribes continue to summon their primals, whose very existence is a bane upon the land. Each nation is beset with its own primal problem. None has the resources to look beyond its own borders. The Admiral desires my counsel regarding a brazen wolf. She means to tell me that the Empire may soon resume its advance. Though the primals pose an undeniable threat to our survival, the threat posed by the Garleans is greater still. Clearly, each nation can no longer afford to think only of that which occurs within its own borders. A storm gathers upon the horizon. If we are to weather it, we must needs stand united once more. A remembrance service may help to rekindle the spirit of unity which brought the peoples of Eorzea together when last the Empire threatened our liberty. The Flame General was wise to make his proposal, and I wholeheartedly approve of it. The necessary provisions shall be made for a service here in Gridania. Your work here is done, my friend. I shall send my reply to the Flame General forthwith. I thank you for coming. May the 12 see you safely home. You may now make use of the airship routes connecting the three nations. Before you may board an airship, you must still pay the requisite fare in Gil. So it's not free. And that's our first proper story achievements. Call of the Sea. The Serpent Officer has information that may be of interest to you. I pray your meeting with the Elder Seedseer went well, my lady envoy. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but did you not also deliver a message to Admiral Merlitha of Limsa? While you were there, did you happen to meet Badaron? I can't remember. The proprietor of the Drowning Wench. Gregarious gentleman, always happy to help his fellow man. Well, I am told that he has a task for a capable adventurer. I know not what the task entails, but I dare say the Flame General's personal envoy would make a fine candidate. If you are interested in learning more, pray speak with Badaron at his establishment. Badaron is the Limsa Lominsan version of Mamodi and Mother Miun. And now, 618. It's a good job I've got these free teleport tickets. But this is where the game opens up. We've now got free reign of the 3 initial city-states, which means that we can go and do quite a lot of stuff. Going to be a fisherman. Going to be an arcanist. Open the lift. The Drowning Wench is the inn. And this is Badawan. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. Sit wherever you like, lass. I'll be with you in a... I'm Badawan White. Who's asking? Heard as I've got a job for a capable adventurer, you say? Well, you're bloody right. Just so you're fairly warned, though, this ain't no job for the faint of heart. Things are liable to get downright bleeding hairy. But if you think you're still interested, let me know and I'll fill you in on the details. And this gives us the entertainingly titled, It's Probably Pirates. It is. It is pirates. Badawan, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, has need of a capable adventurer. I thank you for taking the time to help me out. Now I'm sure you're busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it, some suspicious looking buggers have been sneaking in and out of the Sestasha Sea Grot, and I need a trustworthy sort to head up north of Aleport and find out who they are and what they're up to. Don't sound like much, I know. But it weren't so long ago as the Fishback's pet pirates paid us an unwelcome visit, and folk are feeling a bit nervous. If you permit me, Master Badawan, I would be happy to elaborate. Well, if it ain't the Chief Yellow Jacket himself, to what do I owe this rare honour, Commodore Rainer? Come to make sure my patrons are behaving, or just thirsty? Neither. In fact, I was informed that you would request an adventurer to assist in my investigation, and I came to offer what information I could sift from recent reports. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel off the coast of Aleport in the vicinity of the Isles of Umbra. This information came to my attention no more than a few weeks after a squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Sestasha Sea Grot included. Their search revealed little, save that a family of Quirls had taken up residence in the caves. Nothing to concern us, in short. Oh! That's a hint, a link to something that happens in the first dungeon. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Sestasha again. But with the Sahagin testing our defences daily, I am loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. Thus I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Then it is settled. Sestasha is located in western Lenosha. For more detailed instructions on how to reach the place, I suggest you consult Vermelpa. She can be found at the ferry docks on the lower decks. You heard the man. Good luck to you, lass. Yes, the stuff about the family of curls. Why isn't it the challenge? This unlocks the challenge log. Littleman is ill pleased with the carelessness of the wench's customers. We all know how it feels to have had one too many. That's why I'll not fault our patrons for much of what goes on at our tables. But is it too much to ask that they keep their belongings on the person when they leave? It wouldn't bother me so much if half of them didn't show up a week later, ranting and raving as if their drunken heedlessness was somehow my fault. Take this impressive-looking journal right here. As oft-used as it seems to be, I've no doubt its owner's tearing up the town searching for his prized possession. A stranger he was, swarthy Rugadin who enjoys his drink. Seemed to be getting on well with our regulars, Quentinine. Perhaps you could still catch up with him and spare me the headache. I'd offer you a free drink, but last time I did that, bad and docked my wages. Yeah, this opens up the challenge log, which is a useful tool. And I'll show you what it does once we've unlocked it. Ever seen who? Look, just because I spend more nights at the wench than in my own home doesn't mean I'm mates with every sod who comes stumbling through the doors. Wait a minute. That bloody book. Why didn't you say so sooner? The tight-arse bastard drained 20 flagons and promptly passed out, leaving yours truly to foot the bill. Said he was heading for Aleport. Aye, where else, the scurvy sop. No mere will, and he's been still stranded at the ferry dock, so that gods know it won't help me get my gill back. Yeah, so challenge log. Can't get yet. The challenge log is a lot like the hunting log, in the sense that it gives you a certain number of things to do. It's weekly. It resets at the same time as... Put some clothes on. I was distracted there. Yeah, it resets at the same time as the weekly roulettes and dungeons and stuff on a Tuesday. Right, I need to go down to here. Some people find... Ooh, actually, while we're here. This is Hawker's Alley. It's got the market boards. It's kind of important. I'm going to be going down here to the entertainingly named Fisherman's Bottom, which is the site of two important things. It is the site of the Fisherman's Guild, surprisingly enough, with a name like that. And it's also that building over there. That is the Rogues Guild, which you unlock later on in the story. As I say, worth picking up the Ethernets as you go. This is Wasserlead. If you have business with me, be quick about it. My ferry and my next great adventurer awaits. My journal! Why, I thought I'd lost it forever. Pardon my rudeness, friend. Perhaps I should have stopped after 19 flagons. Did you steal a glance at its pages, perchance? No? A shame that, for this book contains, how might I say it, a record of my numerous adventures. Quite the inspiring read, if I do say so myself. Which I believe I just did. You've the air of an adventurer about you, if one's still untested, but take heart. Even the most accomplished adventurer, and I speak from personal experience, was once a whelp with more dreams than sense. Were there only some way for me to repay you? But of course! I've a fresh journal right here that may as well have your name on it. Why not keep a record of your own that one day we might regale each other with stories of our deeds? And with that I shall be off for adventure, and a flagon of 20 of the realm's finest ale calls me. Fare you well on your journey. And next time you find yourself at the wench, do thank that Ellison fellow for his generosity. Ha ha. So that unlocks the challenge log, which will serve as a record of your adventuring exploits. To open it, select logs from the main menu, followed by challenge log.
Contains a list. It's basically a list of challenges to meet. I've got mine set to Shift H, so I've got hunting log on H, Shift H for the challenge log, and you can see that various categories are locked. Companions, retain adventures, grand company. You can't do any of these yet because you haven't got access to them. You can get commendations though. You can get leave quests because obviously you can do those at a low level. Same with fates. And guild tests, which I've already got. I don't know. I don't know whether these rewards are doubled by the road to 60. Could probably find out. These rewards do scale with your level, so they are based on the level that you've currently got. So, for example, this one is 10% of your next level, and so on and so forth. So it's a reasonably significant chunk. You hear about Commodore Rayner's investigation? Then you want to board a ferry bound for Airport. Once you arrive in Western Lenosha, though, you best pay a visit to the Hall of the Novice before you blunder into Sastasha. The Adventurers Guild runs the Hall, and the folk there will prepare you, train you with the skills you'll need to face the dangers undoubtedly waiting for you in the Sea Grot. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, just north of Aleport. Head inside and one of their seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. That speech is new. They must have put that in when they put the Hall of the Novice in. So rather than going straight to Sastasha, as was the original quest, Seek Passage to Aleport, 40 kill, it now looks like it sends you to... It detours you is the word I'm after. Detours you to the thingy, the Hall of the Novice. But of course we've already done all of the quests for the Hall of the Novice. He unlocks local leaves at Aleport. Speak to the Chocobo Keep. Nice little poetry jig in the background. Again, the Chocobo Keeps saying nothing new. That guy there has a quest which you can get a little pet from. Little minion. But I'm quite happy having Nanamo follow me around. So let's head up to the Hall of the Novice, which they've built. If you remember, this path here was where we did that little instance with the pucks and the Gubu, and we could actually see the side of this from the path there. But yeah, this is I won't say new. It's been in the game probably a year or two now. But yeah, so we can talk to the Master of Shields, Master of Arms. Oops. We can't do anything with these two because we actually haven't unlocked any other classes. What's the visitors log to? Oh, that tells you little bits and pieces about, yeah, things like that, using signs and marks and laying waymarkers out and stuff. Useful bits and pieces. This is a seasoned adventurer. Ah, you must be the adventurer of whom the Yellow Jackets sent word. I hear you are to brave the depths of the Sastasha Sea Grot. The occupants of those caves are rumoured to be as numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling into such a den of savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions. And you shall need the training we here at the Hall of the Novice can provide. I strongly suggest that you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing on your mission. The smith here oversees the training schedules. Speak with him, and you can register for exercises tailored to your particular field of expertise. When you've mastered all that our masters have to teach, then it will be time to head north once more. Report to the Yellow Jacket Scout at the mouth of the Sastasha Sea Grot, and he will furnish you with the details of your duty. It is optional that you do the stuff here. If you know what you're doing, you know, if you've played MMOs before, it's really not an issue. It is very much just advice for people that have never played an MMO.
which is reasonably few gamers these days. Right, we got some peeps here. Isildur and Alian. Alian becomes vaguely important later on. These guys, Evir, Livian, Pyoveo and Edda. They've got what took you so bloody long, Edda? If my purse was too light, you might have considered using some of your own bleeding coin to get us what we need. You've only ever been as useful as the contents of your pockets. The God knows you can barely heal a scratch. We took up the venture in life to take on the big jobs and claim the big rewards. How are we meant to do that if we can't even get our supplies in order? It's her, the one Badamon was talking to. Well, we'll see who gets the glory. This job should have been ours in the first place. Sorry of it, I came as fast as I could. I tried haggling with the merchant, but 2 potions was the best I could get with the money he gave me. I had no idea how expensive they were. This is perfect for our inaugural outing as a party, wandering around in the caves, turning over a few rocks. How difficult could it possibly be? I never expected our first visit to the Adventurers Guild would yield such a straightforward way to win fame and fortune. Eddie, so slow. You'd lose a foot race to a tree slug. So these guys are in our position. They are would-be adventurers. Edda and Evir become fairly important. These guys, on the other hand, not so much. Please tell me you're here on yellow jacket duty and not some daft sod out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ships seen slipping around the Isles of Umbra. We've been on the lookout for pirate activity ever since that vessel was sighted, thinking a crew of cutthroats might have a den nearby. So when we received word that men of questionable quality had been seen passing in and out of Sastasha here, we weren't entirely surprised. I've yet to see them for myself, but if this lot belongs to them fish-backed fancy and serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around in the caves and find out exactly who we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll be keeping watch out here, praying you don't spot any blue-faced tattoos. And it gives us the instruction. Use the duty finder to enter Sastasha, which is now accessible. The duty finder has been updated with a new regular duty. And this will take us to our first dungeon, which for some reason the game calls instance raids. Party-based content which take place in closed environments such as dungeons. The term instance refers to the fact that these areas are reserved for a single group of players, meaning you'll not encounter any others during your time in them. Rely on your own strengths and wits to conquer the many challenges such as deadly traps, complex mazes and powerful bosses. Time limits, level restrictions, you can't change class or jobs within. And you can either join using that entrance there or by actually using the duty finder. And yes, it's our first dungeon. It's level 15. Is there anything I need to do? Check. No. Don't know what the queue timer will be like at this time of the morning. But while we wait, we'll take a little look around. Actually, while we wait, I'm going to go and do some of that challenge log. Because it needs doing. So we need to kill some bombs. Some copper goblins, both of which can be found outside
Copperbell Mines, which we'll be coming back to fairly shortly for another dungeon. But whatever. Bomb. Not entirely sure what this guy's doing. Maybe he thinks he's helping by one-shotting stuff for me. Right. That's that. Choco. Right, it's a bit of a jaunt to the next one. Do. Yeah, you don't get your Chocobo license until you get the ability to join a Grand Company, which you can get at level 20, technically. But when I say at level 20, I mean doing level 20 story quests. And as you can see, we're doing level 15 ones. So we are very much ahead of the curve. Which is probably why I've been seeing so many people wearing low-level gear, but with surprisingly high levels. Because there seems to be so many ways now that you can get ahead of that curve. Right, we went down there. Oop, giant crab. We went down there before to the Crescent Cove. We didn't come this way. This is Vesper Bay. You can get a quest here to unlock the ability to dye your gear, which is nice, but I seem to recall I need to pick up some orange juice or something to give to this lady. Is it a lady? Can't remember. We'll find out. Wants to show you a whole new world of colours. You there, yes you, the decisively unfashionable adventurer. I'm looking so much cooler than you are. Got to be good, never in my life have I seen such an unapologetic focus on function at extreme cost to form. The mere sight of you fair makes my eyes bleed. As love of all things aesthetically pleasing, I cannot in conscience allow you to continue roaming the realm in that sorry state. I believe your appearance can yet be salvaged to the use of colour. I will teach you how to go about dyeing your outfit, but first I must have a drink. The heat has given me a vicious thirst, and I won't be able to talk for any length of time. Be a dear and buy me a bottle of orange juice at the stall by the northern gates, would you? Once I've moistened my throat, I shall see to the business of remedying your appearance. That's new. There didn't used to be anybody here that would sell orange juice. You had to pick it up in advance. Cool. I'm going to pick up some meat myth kebabs as well.
Pray tell, have you bought my orange juice? Lest you've forgotten. Yes. Phew, that's a relief. Finally, I can teach you how to bring colour into your life. Listen well. There are handy items called colourant which allow folk to dye their outfits a veritable rainbow of colours. These colourants are so simple to use, adventurers have no excuse to be fashion unconscious. Lest you worry that dyeing will affect your garment's precious properties, you may rest assured it will not. The practicality you adventurers love so much will not suffer for the change in appearance. A change for the better. Yes. Stuff. It's time. Gear dyeing now available. It is time for the first proper dungeon in the game. Stasher. Hello. Right. Clearing instance raids. Don't die. Be dumb. Be intelligent. Right. Boom. Because I know what I'm doing, I should not be losing aggro on any of these things. Let's use some of that food. Doesn't really matter which of these we decided to kill next. Right, there's a memo up here. The captain likes his wine red. That clue there will give us a hint. HQ items have got that weird little symbol. They don't necessarily sell for more, but they can be used in crafting to give better results. Some people insist on killing the lesser mobs first. I like the mobs with abilities like this out of the way. Doesn't make a huge amount of difference at this level, but there is a difference if you really want to, be the best that ever was, like no one ever was. I wanna be the very best. If you're a gladiator, I recommend 2 applications of flash before you go into your aggro combo. Not that it's much of a combo currently. Keep in mind for the combo to work, it doesn't have to be on the same mob. You can use fast blade on one mob and then get the bonus aggro on a second one. I'm just leveled up. Right. So in this section, what you want to be doing, if you're tanking, is killing these little lads. If you're DPS, you want to be killing the clam first of all, because otherwise it keeps summoning the little lads. Again, it's not super important which of these you kill first.
In a lot of later dungeons, you will find that people completely ignore if you mark enemies, just thinking that, you know, they want to do their own thing and whatever. Oh shit! They took too long to kill that. Not entirely sure what they were doing. It matters not. They are new. And I appear new. But yeah, if you don't kill the clams fast enough, then it just spawns more and more and more of these things. Incidentally, when the clams close, they become invulnerable. You can help out as a tank if you want to. I recommend killing the Orobon first, because they've got a reasonably nasty armor down debuff that they can put on you. Followed by the Aurelia. Because they've still got those numbing paralysis tendrils. You can see the different levels of hate. So I'm top, second, third, fourth. Might as well go and do this since it's a good chunk of extra XP. And there's a treasure coffer with a potion in. At later levels, that is of no use whatsoever, but at this level, especially when you're getting this much XP per enemy, it is a nice chunk. That chink sound shows that something's gone invulnerable. Pretty much any mob in the game that goes invulnerable makes it. Okay, if you remember that note, it talked about his wine liking it red, so you want to press the red switch, and that will spawn the first switch. This is what they didn't find when they were talking about it, but they did find a quirl, which is one of these things. So this was as far as they went. They never found the switch because it's hidden, and obviously they didn't want to come past the big ass cat. Try not to get hit by Charged Whisker. If you can at all help it. And remember what I was saying about that animation lock. You can move back in as soon as that bar disappears. So regardless of the animation, as soon as that bar's gone, you are safe. Right, this teaches you about loot rules. Whenever you get a piece of loot, you can try it on. You can compare its stats. For me, it's not all that useful, but for the DPS, I got it anyway. I think I might be the only person that's a first timer here. what you ideally want to be doing is cycling through your defensive cooldowns. But if you know that there is obviously something like a boss coming up, then you really want to be saving them for something like this, where you know you've got some fighting to do. It used to be that you had to face a mob in order to be able to block them. These days it doesn't matter at all. Me loyal pups, says Captain Madison. So this is one of the pirate captains. Where are me men? Where are me maidens? And he runs off, drops us some treasure, which we can't use. Now, if there's a ranged mob, like this Shadow Eye Reaver, you want to pull the other mobs towards him. Or her. So that if there's AoE, then naturally we can use that. And catch everybody in it. Makes sense. There are several hidden rooms, well not hidden, but there are several other rooms around here. I'm not going to go and explore those. There will be some basic trash enemies that we're not going to go and kill. Kill the dog first. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference. Right, because the DPS in this group is good, what I'm going to do is grab you guys, and we'll fight all four. Okay, never mind 4. We'll fight 6. This was going to be interesting. It is wise to keep an eye on the healer's MP. As well as your own. It's not really how I wanted to do that fight, but whatever. Your defensive cooldowns are on very short timers, so do use them, don't save them. You know, especially for kind of... This isn't a mini boss, but it's... Oop, that's me levelling up. This is the reason why I pull those two groups together, because it means that we can just go straight into here. Right, back in at 30 seconds. There we go. Yeah, I've got a bad back, so right. Where's the other guy gone? Oh, he's got lost. He's going to end up pulling a load of other mobs if he's not careful. There we go. Sorry, Matt. Oh, was he trying to fill out the map? Do you even need to do that anymore? Oh, you do. Okay, this looks identical to the previous version of the fight, but it's actually not. So what you want to do is pull them over here. You don't have to do it like this, but this is a way I like to do it, because it means that in a moment, when Captain Madison gets bored of fighting us and realises that he's on his own, he's going to release these doggies. If you are a conjurer or white mage, what I recommend you don't do is use fluid aura in group content. It used to be that fluid aura actually did some damage, and therefore it was a little bit of extra DPS. These days it is a lot like low blow. It does no damage, it's just knockback and bind. So unless you've massively over aggroed in your dungeon, there is no point whatsoever in using it in a fight, because all it does is positions enemies in a silly manner. Ooh, I need that. Because that is an upgrade. That was me face pulling. Try not to do that. And that was the archer. Don't know whether that was deliberate or not. Again, take out the higher damage targets like the dog and the if you are a class like an archer, which has a damage over time effect, then you want to try and spread that out 2 mobs if you can. So everybody will have damage ticking away. Ideally, you want to be going into dungeons with the best equipment that you can get, because if you do that, then your healer won't have to work as hard. If your healer doesn't have to work as hard, then they can focus on doing some damage as well as healing, and everything goes quicker. And generally speaking, you don't want to be spending loads and loads of time in these dungeons. If you are doing dungeons, ideally you want to be doing ones that are your level, because you get more XP. The boss ain't gonna like this. Psh, you sully our spawning ground, Showwalker. Right, this is one of the Sahagin, the fish beastman. His name is Den the Orcatooth. And he's a bit of a pussy, to be honest, but he is the first real dungeon boss. So you can see around the room that there are these unnatural ripples. They will spawn adds if left unattended. It is probably easier at this level to just blitz. And if you need to, because the ads will come out one at a time to start off with. So as the tank, if you can just be prepared to pick them up, have your defensive cooldown ready. Oh, apparently they don't come out one at a time anymore. But either way, there we go, he's dead. Yeah. And it disappears into this tainted ether. We win. Duty completes. Yes. Thanks all. The loot is a pair of Acolyte's half gloves. Not particularly useful. We shall commend the Conjurer for healing us. I like to bow at the end of dungeons because that's that's who I am. And there we go. Oh, 3 player commendations. Sweet. So there we go. It is probably pirates. It is almost certainly pirates. Right, while we are here, because this is basically why we came here in the first place, we're going to go and kill those bogies. Because actually, we want to be working at roughly the right level for these mobs. Because as I say, these rewards do not scale. And yeah, the levels are roughly what it says here. So you can see these bogies are level 20, so they're in Gladiator 20. That's not 100% true for all of these, I don't think. I can't really remember. But you just want to make sure that you've got them at roughly the right level so that you can maximise the amount of XP that you get. It's not always 3 of each that you need as well. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Fewer. Right, and now I want to go to Eastern Thanalan. Right, what did we need? Some tuko-tukos, some goats, some imps, and some nobles. Right, the imps and nobles are up here, the goats are here, the tuko-tukos are down here. Actually, there might be some up here as well. Take note, the Maitrega's nanas are not the same as the billies. Yes, there are some tuko-tukos here. You don't get another ability until level 26, which is one of those things that I was saying about the lower level combat feeling a little bit on the slow and clunky side. But it's simply due to how many levels there are and how much stuff that you got in the earlier stages. You've got to spread it out a little bit, otherwise you get what they call button bloat. You know, you've got so many abilities that you don't have enough fingers and you can't fit them all on your hotbars. Right, Vandalous Imps. Actually going to... Blinding them does not help them miss with magic damage as far as I can remember. But you notice we can block magic damage with our shield. That's a 4.0 change, you couldn't used to do that. It's a little bit daft actually. Right, so now over here. Come on. This is line of sighting. A very useful technique if you want to tank in dungeons. But it exploits the pathing of mobs to bring them closer to you because they need a line of sight to cast. Just like you need a line of sight to cast if you're playing a thaumaturge or a conjurer or something like that. You'll have figured that out already. At least hopefully you will by this time in the game. Try not to sound condescending though. Line of sight, line of sight, line of sight. Bring enemies to you. You can sometimes exploit the pathing. But if they've got no actual way to get to you, they will turn invulnerable and leash back to where they were. So you can't super duper exploit it. Again, this this double XP thing is quite nice. Means Max getting up to level 60 a lot nicer, I would think. Right. Now sometimes, if you fight the nannies, the billies will come and join in. Yeah, male protecting the female and so on and so forth. These things will also drop milk, if I remember correctly. And milk is a food that you can use for a 3% XP bonus, like all other foods. Is that one over there? Is that a nanny? That's a nanny. Come, Billy. Can you fly? No, that's Bobby. That over there is the very cool looking burning wall. These are shards of crystallized ether that have sprouted from the ground. That there's High Bridge. We'll go to High Bridge later, and you'll see why it's called High Bridge. The clue is pretty much in the name, to be honest. There we go. That's sorted. We've learned a new roll action, Anticipation, which increases our parry rate. It's not very good. I wouldn't recommend using it as a general rule, but you know, right now it's not so much of an issue. Right, from rank 3 onwards, you'll notice that the offerings in the different areas are all over the place, and this is because, again, you're supposed to do this from roughly the time where you can head out past level 15 into all of the different areas. You've got airship access, so you can go wherever you want. Speaking of going where we want, we need to go to Limsa Lominsa, because we get to go back to Badaron. Still got gill sellers. What do you unlock? Oh, this girl unlocks the aesthetician. Jandalaine. Rumours of a dangerous madman about town have I've no idea. Have her ill at ease. You're either a brave woman or a fool, friend, to be wandering the streets of Limsa tonight, what with the slasher of Fisherman's Bottom on the loose. You've not heard? There's a madman about. Why, it said he brandishes blades so long and sharp that they could gut a whale. No one's seen any blood yet, but that hasn't stopped the rumours from sending shivers up spines in every alehouse in town. That you're still standing before me tells you don't scare as easily as the rest. Perhaps you can assist with the investigation. To start with, you might want to look into that scream I just heard outside. The aesthetician is the barber shop. It lets you alter certain aspects of your physical appearance. What are you waiting for? That's him, the slasher. Apprehend him, toss him in jail and throw away the key, or gut him and feed his lifeless body to the sharks for all I care. Just do something. Whoa, woe is me. Whatever did I do to deserve this cruel fate? For 6 moons I saved every last gill of my husband's ardent wage, foregoing new shoes, new purse, sometimes even food for our children, all in anticipation of this day. What's so special about today, you ask? Well, this day marks the arrival of the world-renowned aesthetician in Limsa.
My endless patience and self-control were to be rewarded with a hair-rising transformation that would have every fashion-conscious Luminson oohing and ahhing in admiration. Instead, I find myself accosted by this lecherous lout. Speaking of which, weren't you going to do something about this? Go ahead, have your way for him. I doubt he has anything to say for himself. Express doubt, so it's / doubt. Oh, the ignominy of it all. Of course you take a side. For shame. Is there not one sympathetic ear in this entire nation? An artiste of my renown should be welcomed with open arms, and a 21 cannon salute. Instead, I am branded a criminal, the tools of my trade, nay, the extensions of my very soul, ripped unceremoniously from my person like barnacles from the side of a frigate. I will not last long in my weakened state. No, even as we speak, the world around me grows dim. With my dying breaths, I speak unto you 3 names, 3 kind souls, who may yet put right what has gone so frightfully wrong. Those 3, yes. So the head of the Blacksmiths Guild, the head of the Carpenters Guild in Gridania, and the head of the Alchemists Guild in Uldar. If there is an ounce of compassion in you, seek them out and tell them Jean Delaine sent you. When my soul is restored and my name rightfully cleared, all of Limsa, nay, the entire realm, will sing your praises. For I, Jean Delaine, am none other than So he actually is the aesthetician. But the tools of his trade have been stolen from him, and he is, as you can see, a little bit flamboyant. He is, as one might crudely say, camp as Christmas. But he's an artiste, and like all artists, he is married very much to his work, which we will get to see in a little while. This is Hananza, the guildmaster. I think this is the armour smith. Jean Delaine sent you. Let me guess, the balmy fool's lost his tools. Pardon me, the appendages of his very soul. Again, and his thrashing and tossing like the end of days is nigh. The man brings it on himself. If he toned down the theatrics and went about his work like an earnest craftsman, I dare say he'd save himself these misunderstandings. No, I've not a whit of sympathy for the fool. You, however, have my pity indeed for having to play audience to his whinging. Anyway, this should shut him up for a while. Tell him that if he loses these, I'll graft the next pair into his bloody hands. That gives us the scissors, so that's a nice Edward Scissorhands reference for any of you old enough to actually know that. We're not going to go and teleport just to see those. That would be silly, especially since we actually have to go to... Where am I? We have to go to the other city-states shortly for 2 more dungeons. So we should do those bits as we go. And if you're desperate for a haircut now, then obviously you could go to the 2 cities and pick your stuff up, but I'm really not desperate. Badawin! Ah, such a task was on the books. Was mine. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sestasha? Nod. It would seem that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbour, none the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter, the wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, gold was arms and armour for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavours, my lady. Bye. Batman, are you? With all your limbs and a tail to tell, I'll wager. And an actual tail. Fishbacks. And there I was thinking you only have to crack a pirate skull or three. Someone else, you turn your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastards has set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning. Unless they was planning on feeding themselves with the four of the Stasha, of course. In a word, all's well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank you for shedding some light on this mystery. You've lived up to your reputation, and I couldn't ask for no more than that. Now, I bet you're dying for a rest, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. Just so happens that I've had a request from my sister guild in Gridania, see? Seems the forest folk are in need of a adventurer what can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be no skip through a sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready and I'll lay it out for you. Party finder unlocked. The party finder is a tool which you can use to join and create preset groups. So you can join them or you can create your own. You can look for ones specifically on your world, you can look for ones that are private with friends, or you can check out the entire data center. I have never really used it, but you can look for stuff for fates, you can look for stuff for particular quest battles, treasure hunts, the hunt, loads of stuff, including Palace of the Dead actually, or other. A lot of people use it for a wide variety of things, including some RP. So, you know. Badaron has information on a new task. Call the Forest. Ready to hear about that job then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know. But whatever it is you get asked to do, I somehow doubt it'll pose any trouble for adventurers surviving the bedlam in Stasha. If you think you might be interested, you want to have words with Mother Moon, my counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, lass. Just because I can, I'm going to show you how to get there on the airship. So you'll head up to the airship landing. You'll head over here to the airship ticketer. You'll seek passage to Gridania. You can also go to the Gold Sorcerer apparently at this level. 120 gil, which is a lot cheaper than the teleportation fare. And it heads you straight there. Have I turned off? It's not on that one, it's that one. Control settings. Turn those off for now. Right, we want to be going up here. To Mother Moon. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come to take your... Oh, not here to dine. Dare I hope you're the adventurer that Badaron sent word about? You are? The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Moon. The Carling Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you.
Nice short quest of easy XP. Takes us to Fire in the Gloom. And this will give us some stuff. Miyun is waiting to brief you on your task. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardon for interrupting me, but our need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward. And good evening to you too, Bowlord. The need must be pressing indeed for you to honour us with a visit. The good news is your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver, which is the Archers Guild and the Protectors of Gridania. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridania in the bud. Beneath the central shroud there lies an underground burial site called the Tamtara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gulmoran settlement, but we Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking about the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixel at bay. That's the beastmen around here. That kind of bird men. The bird men have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I've been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Trialswood lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of Dalamud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? Go on then. You have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard post at the entrance. He'll apprise you of the latest development. That's all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. Nods. So this will do exactly the same thing as the one that's Nastasha. We'll go to the dungeon. We will sort ourselves outside and all will be well. But while we're here, we're going to go and pick up something for Jean Delaine from beating at the Carpenters Guild, which is here. A message from John Delaine, you say? So he's lost another one. Ugh. Does the man not understand that wood doesn't simply grow on? Actually it does, at least in a manner of speaking, but the fact remains that resources are in short supply. For all his flowery words, if his tools were truly an extension of his very being, one would think he'd find a way to hold on to them for more than a fortnight or two. Jean Delaine's skills are not to be doubted, but his temperament is much to be desired. Still, it's not my place to judge. Take this to him, and let us both hope that he will right his ways. So that gives us a piece of woodwork, a metallic implement. So that's his scissors, that's his comb. Right. So we need to leave. Now we've not been down into the central shroud, so we're going to go to Bent Branch Meadows first of all. So that one coming. Do. Yeah, so you do get these the first time you enter a zone. Now, it used to be that you had to scout out every little area, which is a little bit daft. Right, so it is a bit of a run. But whatever. We'll go down to Bent Branch, unlock the Aetheryte there so that we can teleport back to it as need be. I seem to recall there was, yes, there. These guys won't aggro us now because we're too high level, so we can safely ignore them. We'll need to come back here because this is where we unlock the ability to summon our chocobos in battle. From a guy over there, in fact. Feather trader. Oh, no, that trades chocobos. Nothing to do with these silver feathers that I've got burning in my bags. Tra-la-la. Not interested. Take a run. Hang a right down here. We are very close. She's so cute. Oh, here we can see these guys from the previous dungeon. These guys from the counter. You're Demajen Thornley, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bowlord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deep Croft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the Sixth Astral Era, which was 5 years ago. The cultists took the Lesser Moon Dalamud for their god, believing that it would deliver them from devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might have moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it seemed only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Saviour, that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deep Croft, you might be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and Eolzu at large, put an end to their madness. And there we have it. We can now access the second dungeon. Which we're not going to do right now, because it's 3:30 in the morning, and I should probably go to bed. But the nice thing about the Duty Finder is that you can access dungeons from anywhere. So whilst I run us back to Bent Branch, so that we can take advantage of that sweet, sweet vested XP, not that we really need to, because we're already miles ahead of where we should be. I can't remember how I was going to finish that sentence. But yes, bedtime. This is almost... I must have started the stream before midnight, so we're at 3 hours 50 minutes. It's a long storyline. Is FF14 2.0. There's a lot of content. A lot of content indeed. But for now... for me and Nanamo, it is time to say goodnight. Good night.